This is News Hour on Ifako Radio. Good morning, I'm Olanireti Ololade. The major headlines. 2026 budget twist. MDAs inject 3.5 trillion naira new projects despite FG freeze. Wike hands LG tolls. Assembly alleges plots to stall Fubara's impeachment. Chimamanda's lawyers write Lagos hospital. Doctor suspended. NDLEA recovers drugs hidden in mannequins. Business news. Price war. Retailers drop petrol below Dangote 739 per litre. Sports. Super Eagles striker Boniface begins rehabilitation after knee surgery. Entertainment. Keep Fela's name out of your mouth. Sean Kuti blast Wizkid FC. Submission opens for 12th edition of AMVCA. News in detail. 2026 budget twist. MBAs inject 3.5 trillion naira new projects despite FG freeze. There are at least 3.50 trillion naira new projects in the proposed 2026 budget. This is despite earlier budget preparation guidelines that directed ministries, departments, and agencies to carry over 70% of their 2025 capital allocation into 2026 and avoid introducing new capital projects. Figures collated from 2026 appropriation bill show that new project entries amount to 844.49 billion naira across MDAs, while the total rise to 3.50 trillion naira when service-wide votes are included. Against the proposed capital budget of 23.21 trillion naira for 2026, the combined new project provision of 3.50 trillion naira represents 15.09% of total capital expenditure. The service-wide votes component within the new project portfolio totals 2.66 trillion naira, reflecting the concentration of the largest single allocations outside conventional ministerial capital lines. Earlier in December 2025, it was reported that the federal government ordered ministries, departments, and agencies to carry over 70% of the 2025 capital budget into the 2026 fiscal year, as the administration moves to prioritize the completion of existing projects and contain spending pressures in the face of weak revenues. This directive is contained in 2026 abridged budget call circular issued by the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning and circulated to all ministers, service chiefs, heads of agencies, and top government officials in Abuja. Wike ends LG tolls. Assembly alleges plot to stall Fubara's impeachment. Lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly have alleged that they uncovered a plot by certain individuals linked to the executive arm of the state government to obtain a court order preventing the legislature from performing its functions. This comes as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, entered the store of the 23 local government areas of the state. The statement issued in Port Harcourt on Sunday by the chairman of the House Committee on Information, Petitions and Complaints, Dr. Enemi George, said the alleged plot involved securing an expert order from a Rivers State High Court operating outside Port Harcourt, the state capital. Last Thursday, the lawmakers led by the Speaker Martins Amewule formally commenced the impeachment proceedings against the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odo. The majority leader, Major Jack, presented a notice signed by 26 lawmakers outlining multiple allegations of gross misconduct against the governor. The allegations include extra budgetary spending of over 800 billion naira without legislative approval, withholding funds allocated to the Assembly Service Commission, demolition of the Assembly complex, and defiance of Supreme Court rulings on legislative autonomy. A separate notice was also read against the Deputy Governor for allegedly conniving in unconstitutional expenditures. Chimamanda's lawyers write Lagos Hospital, doctor suspended. Solicitors acting for renowned Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie have written to Care Multi-Specialist Hospital, Lagos, over the death of a 21-month-old son, Nkanu Namdi. This comes as the Lagos State Government confirmed the suspension of the anesthesiologist at the clinic as probes continue into the circumstances surrounding the child's death. In a legal notice dated January 10, 2026, solicitors acting for Chimamanda and her partner, Dr. Ivara Isege, alleged that the hospital, its anesthesiologist, and attending medical personnel breached the duty of care owed to their son, who died in the early hours of Wednesday, January 7, 2026. The notice was issued on behalf of the parents by Pinheiro LP and signed by the founding partner, Professor Kemi Pinheiro. According to the notice, the child was referred to the hospital on January 6, 2026 from Atlantis Pediatric Hospital for a series of diagnostic and preparatory procedures. This included an echocardiogram, a brain MRI, the insertion of a peripheral inserted central catheter, and a lumbar puncture. The procedure were reportedly part of preparations for an imminent medical evacuation to the United States, where a specialist medical team was said to be on standby to receive him. The solicitor stated that intravenous sedation was administered using propofol. However, during transportation to the cardiac catheterization laboratory, following the MRI procedure, the child allegedly developed sudden and severe complications. Despite being under sedation, it was said to have been transferred between clinical areas under conditions that raised serious and substantive concerns about compliance with patient safety protocols. He was later pronounced dead in the early hours of January 7, 2026. The legal notice outlines multiple alleged lapses in pediatric anesthetic and procedural care. NDLEA recovers drugs hidden in mannequins. Operatives of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 37-year-old businessman, Annie Romans, and recovered large quantities of tramadol concealed inside mannequins he was transporting for his clothing business. Romans was intercepted by NDLEA officers on patrol along the Oro-Ibaka Road in the Oro local government area of Akwa Ibom State on Friday, January 9th, while traveling with full-body mannequins allegedly meant for onward movement to Cameroon. A statement on Sunday by the agency spokesman, Femi Babafemi, said a search of the items revealed that mannequins had been stuffed with tramadol pills weighing a total of 5.3 kilograms. The arrest was part of a series of interdiction operations carried out by NDLEA across several states in the past week. He also said an 80-year-old ex-convict, Jeremiah Isaiah Nkante, was rearrested on Saturday, January 10, in Imanta Abak village, Abak local government area, with 5.7 kilograms of skunk, a strain of cannabis. Awujale. Ruling House slams Kwamwon over process letter to Abiodun. The Fushembua ruling house of Ijebuland on Sunday lashed out a popular Fuji musician, Alhaji Wasiu Ayinde, also known as Kwamwon, over his process letter to Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, in which it alleged that he was being deliberately excluded from the ongoing selection process of the next Awujale of Ijebuland. In his process letter dated January 8, 2026, written by his lawyer, Dr. Wahab Shittu, Kwamwon explained that the Fushembua ruling house, next in line to produce the new Awujale, had issued directives that were unknown to the Chieftaincy Declaration and the Obas and Chief's Law of Ogun State. He claimed these directives were aimed at disenfranchising him from contesting for the throne. But responding to the development, the vice chairman of the Fushembua ruling house, Professor Fasi Yusuf, dismissed the process later as arrant nonsense, with no bearing on the selection process. Speaking on the telephone on Sunday, Yusuf said, "It is a misguided letter. Either Wahab Shittu is being misled or Wasiu Ayinde is being misled. It is arrant nonsense." Business news. Price war. Retailers drop petrol below Dangote 739 naira per litre. The price war in the petroleum sector has continued to deepen, and some retail outlets have dropped the prices of premium motor spirits below the 739 naira per litre recommended by the Dangote refinery. It was reported that since the Dangote refinery slashed petrol pump prices from about 900 naira to 739 naira in December, many importers and depot owners have lamented mounting losses. To remain competitive, many operators were forced to sell petrol at rates below their cost. During a survey over the weekend, it was observed that some filling stations now sell PMS cheaper than MRS oil. The main partner endorsed by the Dangote refinery to champion the price reduction to 739 naira per litre. As of Sunday, NIPCO sold PMS at 738 naira per litre. South filling station sold it at 735 naira per litre, while Akiavik offered the product at 737 naira. An AP filling station beside an MRS outlet in Mowe, Ogun State, dropped this price to 736 naira per litre. It was gathered that filling stations located in the same areas now closely monitor rival pump prices to avoid being undercut in the highly competitive market. Our correspondent reports that motorists trooped to stations offering the lowest prices, leaving outlets selling at higher rates struggling for customers. According to the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, the landing cost of petrol averaged 762.38 naira per litre, while Dangote's ex-gantry prices remained 699 naira. But even with the difference, importers still adjusted price to compete with the Dangote-backed MRS. It was reported earlier that both Dangote and importers were counting losses running into billions of naira. Sports. Super Eagles striker Boniface begins rehabilitation after knee surgery. Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface has started his rehabilitation process following a successful knee surgery in Innsbruck, Austria. The Nigerian international opted for the procedure after weeks of medical consultations and has now been ruled out for the remainder of the 2025-2026 season. The operation addressed the long-standing issue on his right knee that had affected both his availability and performance throughout the campaign. Boniface confirmed the next phase of his recovery in a short video shared on Snapchat on Sunday, showing him working closely with a physiotherapist. In the clip, the forward was seen doing light leg stretches before walking with the aid of a supportive device, a clear signal that the structured rehabilitation program is officially underway. 2025-2026 season proved frustrating for the striker, who battled persistent fitness problems and a dip in form. Boniface failed to score in 11 Bundesliga appearances, registering just 2 assists during his loan spell at Werder Bremen from Bayer Leverkusen before injury cut his campaign short. Although medical experts had initially advised immediate surgery, the 25-year-old sought further opinions before finally taking the decision earlier this month. Zidane's son under fire for Nigeria brawl. Zinedine Zidane's son, Luka, has come under scrutiny following his involvement in a post-match brawl after Algeria's 2-0 defeat to Nigeria in the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals on Saturday. The 27-year-old Granada goalkeeper was at the center of unsavory scenes at full-time clashing with Nigeria midfielder Fisayodele Bashiru, as tensions boiled over following Algeria's elimination. What began as a heated verbal exchange quickly escalated into a shoving match, drawing in players and staff from both teams and bringing a sore end to the contest. Lucas Zidane was seen confronting Dele Bashiru before Nigeria players intervened to pull their teammates away, while the goalkeeper also exchanged words with club bridge midfielder Rafael Onyedika as the situation threatened to spiral further. The altercation overshadowed an otherwise poor performance by the Desert Warriors as Super Eagles secured their semi-final place with goals from Victor Osimhen and Akpo Adams and will now face host Morocco in the last ball. Entertainment. Keep Fela's name out of your mouths. Seun Kuti blast Wizkid FC. Afrobeat singer and activist Seun Kuti has launched a scathing attack on fans of popular artist Wizkid over what he described as repeated and disrespectful attempts to drag the name of his late father Fela Anikulapo Kuti into online music debates. In a lengthy Instagram video posted on Saturday, Seun warned Wizkid's fan base, popularly known as Wizkid FC, to keep Fela's names out of their arguments, accusing them of ignorance and provocation. Keep Fela's name out of your mouths. Why must you find a way to bring Fela always into your discussions? He said. He argued that portraying any modern musician as a new Fela reflected a lack of understanding of his father's legacy, adding that such comparisons usually collapsed when fans realized they could not be sustained. You try to steal the man. You try to claim that this your artist is the new fella. Then when people saw that you couldn't wear those pants, that the shoes were too big to fill, you now turn around. If your lack of respect came from a place of defiance, I would respect it. But your lack of respect comes from a place of ignorance, complete ignorance, he said. The singer also blames toxic fan culture for fueling unnecessary rivalry within the music industry, urging fans to focus on appreciating music rather than provoking conflict. Submissions open for 12th edition of AMVCA. African Magic has officially opened submissions for the 12th edition of the African Magic Viewers' Choice Award, inviting filmmakers and television content creators across the continent to showcase their work. In a post on X on Sunday, the organizers announced the start of entries encouraging creatives whose project lit up screens in 2025 to participate. It's award season and the spotlight is calling. If your film or TV project lit up screens in 2025, now is the time to take your place in the conversation. Submissions for the 12th African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards are officially opened. Entries for the award, which run from Sunday 11 January to Sunday 15 February 2026, are open to films and television content publicly screened or broadcast between 1st January 2025 and 31st December 2025. Recap of the major headlines. 2026 budget twist. MDS injects 3.5 trillion naira new projects despite FG freeze. Wike ends LG tours. Assembly alleged plot to stall for Barra's impeachment. Chimamanda's lawyers write Lagos hospital. Doctor suspended. NDLEA recovers drugs hidden in mannequins. Business news. Price war. Retailers drop petrol below Dangote 739 naira per litre. Sports. Super Eagles striker Boniface begins rehabilitation after knee surgery. Zidane's son under fire for Nigeria brawl. Entertainment. Keep Fela's name out of your mouth. Seun Kuti blasts Wizkid FC. Submissions open for 12th edition of AMVCA. Follow us on all our social media handles. Facebook at Ifako Radio, WhatsApp at Ifako Radio, X at Ifako Radio, YouTube at Ifako Radio, Instagram at Ifako_radio. For news reporting, contact us at ifakoradio@gmail.com or call our WhatsApp 09122227433. Special thanks to the news producer Olanireti. Thanks for watching. I'm Olanireti Ololade. Have a productive Monday. God bless Ifako Jai.